Embracing the fruit as the path. The fruit of the path is awakening or enlightenment. You know, there's a lot of talk of stages of awakening, right? Which, relatively speaking, there seem to be stages. And we can talk about practice. There are practices that one does to notice the presence that's already here, to notice the awakeness that's already here. I like that better than to become awakened, right? To notice what is already here, because we don't want to miss what's right in front of us. So stages, process, practice. And then, you know, we hear people saying, like, there's nothing to do, drop the seeking, it's already here. And you're like, come on, you know, like, isn't there something to do? And I think it's a bit of a middle path. And we use these types of teachings, hey, the awakened state is already here. The awakened view is already here. It's already what you are. And hey, you know, you got to practice as pointers, as teachings. And if we grasp too tightly at ultimates, then we become a bit radicalized and then we're no fun at parties. So, so tonight we're just talking about taking the fruit as the path. The fruit as the path. If all of us have true nature inherently, and it's just been obscured by us not remembering that, noticing that, seeing that, then there are facets or qualities of the awakened view that are already here. So I think that's what the pointing, you're already enlightened, don't do anything, is about. Although I don't know, I can't speak for every teacher out there. But there are qualities, facets of the awakened state, we could say, the awakened view, that are already here. Or that you're already capable of noticing or opening to or practicing. You know, I always like to tell people, let's practice we're enlightened by allowing everything to be as it is, first and foremost. Pinks and I were talking about emotions earlier. Yeah, just allowing them to be here. We may not like it. And which doesn't mean we have to put up with toxicity or some sort of self-torture or, you know, from ourselves or others. But this type of openness, this allowance, this welcoming of what is here. Ah, this is here. There's no denying this is here. It was like really freaking hot today where I live. I was sweating, having menopausal hot flashes. That's what's here. I know it's sexy. Thank you. But that's what's here. We open to what is here. Not even allow what's here. It's just what's here is what's here, you know? It's like when there's like awkwardness between you and somebody else. It's like you can both try to ignore it, but I mean, it's there, which doesn't necessarily mean you have to point it out and go, oh my gosh, let's do something about this awkwardness. Maybe it's just awkward. Maybe you both had too much caffeine today or haven't seen each other in a while, or one of you couldn't remember the last thing you told the other about the person you're dating, and now you're embarrassed and you can't remember and your mind is busy. You know, who knows? But if that's what's here, that's what's here. The sense of allowing and welcoming. And this, with that is this sense of openness, sense of spaciousness. There's space. Everything that arises is arising in space. It has to have space in order to arise. So we could say that more fundamentally than anything is there's the space, the spaciousness. And then emotions and reactions and situations and creativity and people appearing and flowers that are beautiful and birds flying into view and dog poop on the sidewalk are happening in this space. And so there's this natural spaciousness. Taking the fruit as the path, we could practice not taking everything personally then. Because from the awakened view, we know not everything's about us as a discrete, separate individual. This person is acting awkward, and therefore it's got to be about me. I said something, I did something. There's a whole interdependent web of why things are happening as they're happening, which includes you. But it's not just about you. It's not just about me. People are people. Cars do car things. Politicians tend to do politician things. Minds do mind things. And taking the fruit as the path, there's nothing to do, there's nothing to fix, there's nothing to figure out. Which again doesn't mean we roll over and take shit, right? But there is a habitual tendency, an obsession, we could say, an addiction with the mind and the ego to constantly want to make things to our liking and change things and get things and possess things or push away at things. And what if we just have an open hand? That's the starting point. From that place, activism can arise, like some real heart-centered, grounded activism or right action, spontaneous creation, but allowing things to be as they are. And remembering that nothing's permanent. It's not personal. It's not permanent. And to grasp and hang on and try to do something and fix or pull at it or push it away can cause pain. So when we deeply remember, right, everything changes. Everything changes. Even our sense of who we are, right? We're so different with a parent than we are with a child of ours or a pet. We're different when we're stressed. We're different when we're relaxed. We're different when we're inspired. We're different when we're feeling strong emotions. And we're kind of a different creature when we're feeling content or at peace about things. We're kind of a nobody, nothing in those moments. God forbid. So who we take ourselves to be is always changing. Everything is always happening and changing, and it's all happening within this space. There's this openness, this allowance. It's all happening now. That's the other thing. From the awakened view, it's seen that everything is just now. Past, future, even what we deem the present moment is all happening in this ineffable now. It couldn't be any other way. And so there can be this compassion, this friendliness that arises about everything. Not this dry, flat, detached kind of stance. Because it's all changing and it's all happening within this greater space, and we're not really who we take ourselves to be, then this fundamental nature that remains seems to be the fundamental nature of everyone and everything. So we're really not separate. So maybe seeing that or remembering that, practicing noticing those moments when there's this mysterious kind of connection between another. We are the one thing living uniquely through each of us. So that's why it's not about a discrete, separate, distinct person where we can go ahead and take it all personally. Because sometimes we look around, we're like, oh yes, humanity's doing its humanity thing. I'm a part of it. Yep. Mind is doing mind things. Heart is doing heart things. Oh, grief and sadness and joy and all of it. And so we can see that there's kind of one thing happening. There's the unchanging and there's the constantly changing, and the unchanging and the constantly changing. And just noticing that it's all right here. And we're not some problem to be fixed that hasn't gotten it yet, or hasn't healed all their trauma. Oh, and then this kind of responsibility can arise where we take responsibility for our life paradoxically, where we really kind of step up a bit more, maybe come out of hiding a bit more, meet life fully, meeting life fully. That's the awakened view, to meet life fully, whether we like what's happening or not. We can certainly take care of ourselves when we're overstimulated and wrap ourselves in a weighted blanket and say, I'm not going to look at anybody today. That's embracing what is here, what's true, and having compassion for yourself. And you're meeting what's here. You are meeting life. I'm burnt out. I'm going to go take a break. I'm going to go rest. Meeting life doesn't mean we're always, I'm ready to take on the world and getting 2 hours of sleep a night. And we're always taking the next right step and the next right step, taking it one step at a time. Embracing the fruit as the path. The fruit of the path is awakening or enlightenment, full non-dual reality coming online, beyond the sense of separate self. But we notice what's already here, the awake awareness that's already here. And take this welcoming view. And when we do, we can realize that, this loving space that welcomes is always what you've been. And so there's room for our messed up humanness, huh? There's room for us to try to do better with the people we love. There's room for us to grow and learn as humans and apologize when we fuck up and ask for help when we need help. And let go of trying to push through when we think we have to be something. There's room. We don't detach from our humanity, we embrace it. We're just no longer under the illusion that everything that comes and goes, appearances, sensations, feelings, our sense of self, are solely what we are. Thanks for watching and listening. And if this has been helpful to you, please subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified about whenever I put out a new video, and let me know in the comments, how are you doing? All right, till next time, take care.